Come on, man.
We're going to beat the Lakers. That's all that matters.
Stop it.
We're beating
Okay.
the Lakers.
Y'all heard this first. You heard it here. I can't believe you said that. Ooh, I hope LeBron put it on you.
You can put it on it.
Man, Jeremy,
they're not going to win.
Jeremy, you so upset you drank all that water in the first quarter. All right. So that's our.
I can't believe it.
That's our impressions of the first week of the NBA season. Some great basketball has been played so far.
Sorry, man.
Whole lot more to come.
It's okay. I'm still a fan. I'm loyal.
Now,
oh Lord,
there was a big thing that happened.
Hurts.
There was a big thing that happened this week. Okay, I'm gonna give the quick play-by-play. James Harden running down the floor with the ball in transition, being chased by Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram goes up for the block. Hits. I guess he hits. Fouls Harden. Okay, he gets called a foul. Ingram's upset about it. Shoves Harden.
He thinks Harden.
That was number one.
Yeah.
Shoves Harden out of the way because Harden walked in front of him. Get out of my way, I'm mad. Okay, sure, yeah. Chris Paul and Rondo are then... No, I'm sorry. The Brandon Ingram then got in the ref's face. Excuse me? He got in the ref's face. Like, squaring up to the ref. We're talking about stepping up to be the number 2 player on the Lakers behind the best player on the planet. He's stepping up to the ref to fight him. So, Lance Stevenson, of all people, comes over and starts to calm him down and gets him out of the way.
He's a glue guy.
Follow me here. Gets him out of the way. Out of the picture, off screen. Hold that thought. Chris Paul and Rondo are then talking to the ref. And I'm sure we will discuss this in just a minute. Liquid of some sort came from Rajon Rondo's
I'm asking you
mouth.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just...
I know. I got you. Go ahead.
To Chris Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Paul reacted by wiping it off and putting his finger in Rondo's face. Mushed his face and pushed his face in. Rondo responds with the left hand hook. Got him good. Got him good. He got him. Shook him. Paul responds with an uppercut.
It's blood. Yeah. There's blood on them.
They start fighting. And then it escalates. Brandon Ingram comes flying out of nowhere. I don't think he hit anyone.
No, he missed.
Which is very good.
Yeah.
Because that would have done some damage.
He came in.
The suspensions come out the next day. Brandon Ingram gets 4. Rondo gets 3. Chris Paul gets 2. My first question. Were the suspensions long enough for what happened?
I don't even think Chris Paul should have been suspended.
Really?
No.
Really?
Oh, come on. In today's NBA, if you throw a punch,
I don't
Jeremy,
care.
if you throw a punch in this case, you're going to get suspended.
I'm speaking from a man from the streets perspective. Not a basketball perspective. Basketball wise, okay, I get it.
So he probably went to the commissioner and was like, here's my fine.
If somebody spits in your face,
I hear you.
Dude, you should, first of all, he should be able to defend himself. Second of all, he should fight Rondo in an unsanctioned match. For real.
Look. I get what you're saying, but if you throw a punch, you're going to get suspended.
I agree.
I think Chris Paul should have absolutely had 2 games. Yeah. You cannot fight in the NBA.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I understand what you're telling me.
Right.
But if someone does something like that to you, you should be the best leader in the NBA, and
somebody spitting in your face,
and just. Again, I understand.
Wait, no. You're telling me he's not a leader because he got spit on his face.
We're going to come back to it in a minute.
That is blasphemy.
We're going to come back to it in a minute.
That is blasphemy.
But I do think the 2 games were deserved.
But I think it was right. Ingram should definitely get the most games.
Yeah.
I think Rondo should have had 4 games. I think giving Rondo just 1 more game than Chris Paul.
The only thing that saved him was his crap excuse, which was he was chewing on his mouthpiece, and his mouthpiece happened to come out. When he spit on that man's face. That's your boy spitting on that man's face.
And I think Rondo should have gotten more games just because he has a track record of doing stuff like that.
He sure does.
Not spitting in nobody's face. He's never done that. But he's tripped people. He's kicked people.
But I don't know if you can then go to this incident and say, well, you know what, because you did this, that, and then.
No, you can't. You have to treat
Well, they did to Draymond. He had
Yeah,
different incidents where he was kicking people.
But wasn't
and doing
Draymond's
things.
over the season though? Whereas this was a one-time incident.
Right, but it wasn't like a. It was because it was an accumulation of technical fouls.
He had all that stuff going through your.
Right.
I mean, this is the first thing Rondo's done now. It doesn't help that it's the third game of the season.
Right.
He already gets in a fight.
No, but,
So what do you think of the suspension of Rondo? Do you think it was accurate? Should have been more?
I kind of agree with Jeremy. I thought he should have got 4. I mean, you spit in a man's face.
bro, I'm
I
like
mean,
for real. Like
I thought
everything goes out the
should be-
picture when spit
And
goes.
so
Yeah.
here's the thing. You know that the NBA and all sports are
Right, absolutely.
You have to have non-questionable evidence.
Oh, I agree.
Which I understand what we see, and I'm sure they see it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the people in the office are
But-
probably like,
But from brother to a brother,
Right.
when you watch somebody give that face like, and then kind of he spit in that man's
Yeah.
face. Come on.
Now I will give credit. I'm gonna give credit to the security and the refs. Stopped there.
And LeBron.
And LeBron.
Holding. Yes,
well,
he did.
Hold on.
And LeBron.
Before I get to that,
Yeah.
what do we think about Brandon Ingram's 4-game suspension?
Well,
He lost his cool.
he should have, like I said, he should definitely get the most out of it. I don't know how they.
I feel like he should have had somewhere between 7 and 10.
Yeah,
He got in the ref's face, like in the ref's face.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never seen a player do that. I've never
You haven't?
not
I've-
like that. Not
I
like
have. Yeah.
She watches do it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
okay. Well,
In the
that's not a
the
good
90s
argument.
especially.
That's not
in
a
the
good
90s,
argument.
I'm
the
just-
refs,
yeah,
the
yeah.
90s were refs and the players were right here all the time.
But then
I get what you're
To-
saying.
escalate the fight even more, coming in out of nowhere and throwing a punch that could have really hurt someone. I don't know if
you have to understand he's young though.
Okay.
Remember, I know. I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm saying this is what young players do. Young players don't think all the time. They're emotional.
emotional.
He was given the business, or getting the business, I should say, from Harden all night long. Harden was getting with those. You know how he is. Gets up underneath your skin with those elbows, and then just pulls up on you. It gets frustrating.
Yeah.
but you can't escalate that.
I agree.
And I personally think he should have gotten more games.
I agree.
Yes, he should have had the most. So I guess this 2, 3, 4 thing that they did,
Yeah,
I get it.
I just wanted to ask, like, how did they come up with what constitutes 1, 2, 3, 4?
Right.
I mean, I don't. But Ingram definitely deserved more games
for sure. I agree.
Yeah, from a
So
yeah.
so
Chris Paul. Yeah.
Yeah.
where did this come from with Ingram? Like last year, did we see anything like this from him?
Ingram from the hood.
He is. But I think he's also,
I mean,
let's be honest,
I'd say it like
he's
that,
feeling
but-
some pressure too, right?
Yeah.
Because they know you can't put LeBron to stop everybody.
Mm-hmm.
They need him to be a defensive player,
Right.
and he's struggling.
Do you remember when I don't remember who it was that had fallen on the ground, but I think it was Kuzma. And Kuzma was standing up on his own, and LeBron came over. I almost said Kobe. LeBron came over and said, "Hey, if you fall, stay down. Your brothers will come pick you up."
Mm-hmm.
Did Ingram interpret that the wrong way? Because he saw Chris Paul, or he saw Rondo getting hit.
But let's be real, y'all. Ingram, Ball, these guys are on the chopping block. They know they could be traded tomorrow. They got to show more than what they're
So
playing.
you're gonna go get a 4-game suspension?
I didn't say it was right. I'm saying their pressure from young players, when they feel pressure, they don't know always how to respond, and sometimes they respond the bad way. I'm just saying.
So for Ingram, he grew up. We should have known that this could happen.
He hasn't
But-
grown up.
He's under some pressure. I'm saying where he grew up.
Oh, gotcha.
Where
Okay,
he grew up.
yeah.
gotcha.
He's under some pressure.
Yeah.
He was agitated. Okay, I understand all of those points. How about with Rondo? Like, really isn't surprising.
That's what you gonna get.
Yeah. I mean,
So if I may, and I understand that spitting in his face was like that's the biggest thing that happened really,
Yeah.
except the haymaker out of nowhere for me at least.
haymaker.
But if you block that part, if you put your hand in my face and push me, I'm coming back at you.
Not after you done spit
After
on
you spit
somebody's
somebody's
face.
But I understand that. But if you put your hand in my face,
no, you spit on my face. Like, you
look,
lucky. I just put
he
your
lucky
hand-
the first thing he did was mush him.
Exactly.
He lucky the first thing he did was
That's
mush
what
him.
I was saying.
I would have punched him in his nose.
Like,
I would have broke his nose.
Yeah.
They spit on that. That's what I would have said.
Yeah.
Spit on that.
okay,
Yeah.
all right.
But
all right.
I mean, I get what you're saying. You know, somebody put their finger, and that's it. But
Can I play devil's advocate and say, what if Rondo actually didn't mean to?
Stop it.
I said what if.
I'm tired of it. No.
I'm trying to.
Because he lied. He straight up lied. He was like, oh, well, my mouthpiece was. Nah, bruh. Nah.
All right. Well, then I'm going to take this and transition to it. You know, he also had to say that Chris Paul is not a good teammate. Okay. People don't like playing with him.
Okay. And that condones him spitting in his face?
No, it doesn't.
That's my whole point. I was like...
Rondo came back with nobody likes you anyway. Like people do in middle school. Okay. I get it. It's a middle school reaction, but...
It would have been a Kevin Garnett situation where I'm waiting on him, like for real.
In
like,
the parking lot. Like, why you not spit on me, bro?
Not in front of the thousands of paying fans.
Oh, no, you wait till after the game.
That's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
But I feel like, because again, I understand what happened. I understand you spit in my face.
Yeah.
Meet me at this place at this time, and if you're not there, I'm gonna come to where you are. You know what I'm saying? But not.
Well, it was spur of the moment. Like.
Also, if you've been watching the game, though, it had been heated for... I was watching the game. You could tell something was about to... They were getting frustrated with both teams. It was getting heated.
And Chris Paul and Rajon Rondo have not liked each other for a long time.
It's been coming. That's been coming, yeah.
I don't remember an incident that happened. Is that literally just because those two... It used to, when Rondo was in Boston doing his thing, it used to be who's the better point guard?
Well, but you're also thinking those are two alpha dogs, right? And Chris Paul always used to talk about Rondo being like... Hey, he would tell him, Rondo, you only got those championships because you're playing with KG, Paul Pierce. And so Rondo was like, hey, bro, like, I won these championships, like, doing what I do. Don't discount
Rondo's
my
also
championship.
Like, I've got a championship.
Right.
What
does Chris Paul have?
What do you got?
Hadn't even been to the finals.
So, hasn't even been
Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan.
Hey, this year's...
I'm going to say if they put it this year's together.
Right.
Yeah. DeAndre Jordan's making free throws, baby.
But look, that does not
how'd that work out for him?
That's fine.
He
didn't miss 7 of them.
But wait, hang on. But what I'm saying is, Chris Paul, yes, has he done some stuff?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, he's punched some dudes. He's got a history. Yeah. He's got a history of doing that. I don't know why he does that. That does not mean he's not a good leader. That does not mean people don't listen to him. That does not mean if somebody else gets upset because they play with Chris Paul and Chris Paul said something about that player.
So look,
does not mean anything that he's not a good leader.
I was listening to NBA radio today, and there were some people that say that they have heard from people that have played with Chris Paul that say they don't like him. He's a bad teammate. I mean, we can only go off of what.
Who are these players?
Bro, I heard one of them was Big Baby Glenn Davis.
Oh yeah, get out of here.
No, I'm saying he was one of them.
Big Baby was one of the ones that was made public.
Go back to 3-3. Go back to
right. I was like, dude,
baby, get out of here.
Go ahead.
An NBA player is an NBA player.
I hear you. I'm just saying. Come on, man.
I don't know. It's a little question to me at least. Now, I've got one more question before we wrap up this topic. LeBron, what team does he play on?
Lakers.
Why was he walking around with his arm around Chris Paul?
That's his child's godson, godfather.
Right.
Okay.
He was just trying to break up the situation. That's all he was doing. Melo also grabbed Ingram. Nobody's saying anything about that.
Yeah. But him and Chris Paul are like.
Right, but he's a Laker.
And?
So what? This ain't the old 80s where people used to be like,
school.
wherever our colors are. No, that is not how the NBA works.
I think the only person that would have been mad was probably Russell Westbrook. Russell
Westbrook would have been mad. Russell would have been like, hey, he wearing blue? If he ain't wearing blue.
Yeah.
LeBron literally just got done telling these kids, if you fall, you stay down, your brothers will be there to get you. Well, when push comes to shove...
That's not the same thing.
Yeah, but
LeBron was with Chris Paul.
He's trying to de-escalate a situation where punches were thrown.
The situation had already been handled as far as the altercation was over. He was just trying to calm Chris Paul down. You hear Chris Paul saying, I'm good, and he pushes him off. That's good. I mean, that's pretty much the end of it. But as far as LeBron and Chris Paul, I mean, like I said, that's his child's godfather.
There's nothing to be made of this.
So they're tight.
Lakers fans, stop making like this is an issue. It's not an issue.
Yep.
Stop it.
Okay. All right. Well, anything else on the fight? Was there anything else?
No.
Yeah, I'll say this, man. Chris Paul I thought, handled it as best he could.
Oh, dude, I was like, you're a saint.
I'm going to be honest with you. If somebody got that close to me and then if I thought they spit in my face, I might have served them a 2-piece. And told the commissioner, that's my 10 games. Now, he is the head of the Players Association, though, so
Right.
maybe he had to think about what he was about to do before he,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and he
D'Antoni
didn't do
defended
that.
him. D'Antoni was
So
like,
maybe mushing was the best,
Yeah, that was
the
the
best
best.
thing in his brain. He was like,
Right.
I'm just going to mush him.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Huh. I don't know. It'll be interesting the next time those two teams play.
Yeah, they play what, next
boy.
week?
Oh,
They
Lord.
play again or a week after.
I-
They play pretty
It's soon.
They play pretty soon.
It's
so
going to
it'll
be,
interesting.
yeah, it's going to be on.
So that's our second quarter. Let's jump to a different topic.
I'm
You know,
going to let y'all handle this. I'm
this-
gonna sit back for a
Touchy.
second.
this one was a little. That second quarter was a little deep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, man.
but-
I went back to the roots, man. My
You're
bad.
good, man. You're good.
In our third quarter today, we're going to be talking about the Philadelphia 76ers and their lack thereof.
Oh, okay.
Their lack thereof shooting in the backcourt, specifically Markelle Fultz and Ben Simmons.